Welcome to Stoic Mindset Women, the place where timeless masculinity meets deep wisdom, and where age isn't a limitation, it's your secret weapon. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room, and without saying a word, people turn to look at you? Not in judgment. Not out of curiosity. But with genuine intrigue, even respect. You didn't try to grab their attention. You didn't wear anything flashy. You didn't speak. You didn't even make eye contact right away. And yet, the energy shifted. The noise softened. Something about your presence rewrote the room's atmosphere. That's not an accident. That's power. Silent power. Mature power. And more importantly, that's attractive power. See, most men are obsessed with holding on to youth. They chase the latest trends. They panic when their hair starts to gray. They buy products to erase every line on their face. They fear the ticking clock. But here's what the wise few understand: real attractiveness doesn't fade with age. It matures. The older you get, the more authority you can project. The more effortlessly you stand out. And the more magnetic you become if you learn how to use what you've earned. In today's video, I'm giving you a roadmap. Not just for looking good as you get older, but for becoming absolutely unforgettable. We're diving into 8 unmistakable signs that you are not just aging well, you're aging like a fine-tuned masterpiece. These are signs that younger women notice, even if they don't fully understand why they're drawn to you. These are signs that make other men respect you, even if they never admit it. And most importantly, these are signs that separate a man who simply got older from the kind of man who becomes more attractive, more dominant, and more desirable, year after year. Whether you're in your late 30s, early 50s, or well into your 60s, this is your time. It's not about resisting age. It's about commanding it. So buckle up, because what you're about to learn isn't theory. It's not fluff. It's real, grounded, and proven. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally stepping into the man you were always meant to be. Let's get into it. Small blue diamond sign 1, she holds eye contact. Then looks away, but here's what it really means. You walk into a room. Maybe it's a restaurant, a bookstore, or just a casual evening gathering. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice her, younger, poised, maybe in her 20s or early 30s. She sees you, and for a moment, just a second longer than what's considered polite, your eyes lock. But then, just as quickly, she looks away. Now here's the mistake 90% of men make. They assume she's either embarrassed, uninterested, or just not paying attention. They shrug it off and never think twice about it. But that would be a huge mistake, because what just happened in that micro moment? That was a test. A subconscious one. And you just passed it, or failed it, without even knowing. Eye contact is just visual. It's emotional warfare. Let's break it down. When a woman holds eye contact and then looks away, it can feel confusing. Was she attracted? Was it awkward? Was it just coincidence? Here's the truth: eye contact is the most ancient, nonverbal form of connection we have. It predates spoken language. And in that moment, her subconscious mind is sending out a signal. A glance that lingers too long means I'm caught off guard and intrigued. But the look away? That's not rejection. That's submission. And not in a weak way, in a biological way. She's signaling that she felt something. A wave of tension. A pulse of excitement. And rather than confront it with boldness, which takes enormous emotional control, her instinct is to create space, to let you lead. If she held your gaze and smirked, that would be bold. But if she held your gaze and looked down or away with a little smile? That's intrigue. That's the feminine nervous system whispering, I see you. And I don't quite know what to do with how I feel about you. Speech balloon what most men do wrong, and what you must never do. Most men either. Look away instantly, afraid of seeming too forward. Stare too long, which turns the moment from tension to discomfort. Smile nervously or laugh, revealing insecurity or a need for approval. All three responses kill the polarity. What should you do instead? You hold the moment. Calmly. Steadily. Without aggression. You meet her eyes like a man who's used to being noticed. Like a man who doesn't need to chase, because he's the one women signal to. And when she looks away? You let her. You don't follow her glance. You don't shift your posture to seek her out. You simply return to whatever you were doing, composed and grounded, as if this is nothing new to you. And for the masculine man, it isn't. Brain why this matters more as you get older. Now let's take it deeper. You're not 22 anymore. You've lived. You've worked. You've built. You've failed. You've evolved. You've spent decades learning what most men still haven't figured out, that presence beats performance. The reason that eye contact matters so much more at this stage in your life is because it's not just about looks. It's about how much energy you command. Younger men seek attention. Older men draw it in. That calm look in your eyes, the one that says, I don't need to impress you, but I'm listening? That's your weapon. That stillness is power. And women, especially younger ones, feel it instinctively. They may not be able to articulate it, but they're wired to recognize it. And when you pass that test, when you don't flinch or overreact, you send a deep message. I've been through enough storms in life that your glance doesn't shake me. But I noticed, and I approve. That is magnetic. Counterclockwise arrows button the social mirror, everyone responds to the man who's in control. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. This behavior isn't limited to romantic attraction. The way you handle eye contact shifts how everyone sees you, in business, social dynamics, even conflict. People mirror presence. If you can hold a gaze, not with aggression, not with overconfidence, but with self-assured serenity, others adjust their behavior around you. In negotiations, you'll get more silence after you speak, because they'll wait for you to direct the pace. In group settings, you'll find that people defer to your reactions, because they're watching your face to read what's appropriate. And in male circles? That eye contact signals that you're not easily rattled, which, in the world of men, commands immediate respect. This is what we call social gravity. When you carry yourself with stillness, others orbit around you. And women? They lean in, literally and emotionally. Small blue diamond sign 2, people call you distinguished, not cute, and why that's a massive upgrade. Let's talk about the shift no man sees coming. Until it hits him like a cold wind through the open window of life. There was a time when you were called cute. Maybe even handsome. But lately, something else has started to creep into the compliments. You're not just looking good for your age anymore. You're being called distinguished. And that, my friend, is no accident. Now, some men hear this and feel a little pang of regret, as if distinguished is a consolation prize, a polite way of saying, you're not young anymore, but you're doing okay. Let me clear that up right now. Distinguished is not a downgrade. It's a power rank. In fact, it's the only compliment in the male vocabulary that signals appearance, respect, maturity, and unspoken status, all at once. Necktie the evolution from handsome to respected. Here's what most men don't realize. Being cute? That's entry-level charm. It's boyish. Temporary. It gets attention, sure, but it doesn't hold weight. Handsome? That's better. It implies you take care of yourself. That you've got symmetry, style, and maybe a good jawline. But even that fades. Distinguished? That's permanent. When someone calls you distinguished, they're not just talking about your face. They're talking about your aura. Your elegance. Your bearing. They're seeing something refined. Something earned. Because here's the hard truth. You can't buy distinguished. You have to grow into it. It's what happens when a man lives with direction, when he starts caring less about approval and more about alignment. When he dresses not to stand out, but to fit into his own skin perfectly. It's when experience begins to show on your face, and instead of hiding it, you wear it like a crown. Brain the psychology behind the word. Let's dig deeper. In psychology and marketing, words that signal status and selective appeal hold more emotional weight than words that just signal likability. Cute equals accessible, fun, casual, often non-threatening. Handsome equals conventional attractiveness, admired but common. Distinguished equals rare, commanding. Mature, and often intimidating in the best way. It's no accident that this word starts showing up more as you cross into your 40s and beyond. Why? Because women, especially emotionally mature women, stop looking for pretty faces and start looking for anchors. For a man who knows himself. A man who's not reaching anymore. A man whose energy settles the room. That's what distinguished means. And once people start seeing you that way, the whole world reacts differently to you, even if they don't say it out loud. Chart decreasing what most men do wrong, and why it backfires. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Too many men, when they hit that midlife zone, panic. They fight aging like it's an enemy. They chase youth with hair dye, trendy clothes, overly groomed appearances, and that desperate sparkle in their eyes that says, "Hey, I'm still young too, right?" And the result? It comes off as insecure. Overdone. A little sad, if we're honest. Because here's the brutal truth. If you have to chase youth to feel relevant, you've already lost your edge. When you compete with 25-year-olds on their turf, you're playing a losing game. But when you embrace what only age can give you, wisdom, certainty, depth, suddenly you're not competing with them. You're in a whole different category. Women notice that. Men respect that. And your entire presence shifts from trying to be someone to already being someone. That's what being distinguished is all about. Fire style as a signal, how to dress with gravitas. Let's talk style for a moment, because this is where a lot of older men go wrong, and where distinguished men rise above. See, style isn't about flashiness. It's not about logos or trends or wearing things that scream for attention. True style, the kind that earns you the word distinguished, is about subtlety. Quality. Fit. Texture. Simplicity with intention. The man who is distinguished knows that a $50 white dress shirt that fits perfectly will outclass a $500 designer mess every single day. He understands that clothing is not just fabric, it's messaging. Here are a few rules every distinguished man lives by. Neutral colors over loud ones. Charcoal. Navy. Taupe. Olive. These colors whisper power. Tailored fit over loose comfort. You've earned your frame. Show it with confidence, not sloppiness. Timeless over trendy. A perfectly cut blazer will always outlast neon sneakers. Well-kept grooming. Whether you rock the salt and pepper beard or go clean-shaven, keep it deliberate. Minimal accessories. Maximum impact. One watch. One ring. One scent. That's all you need. When people see a man who's dressed with discipline and maturity, they automatically assume leadership. Status. Sophistication. Not because of what he's wearing, but because of how he wears it. High-voltage real power is subtle, but unmistakable. Small blue diamond sign 3. You age into your features, and that's where your power begins. Let's face it, the modern world has lied to men about aging. It tells us that youth is everything. That once you see a wrinkle, or a line, or a patch of gray in your beard, your time is up. You're no longer relevant. No longer attractive. No longer wanted. But let me give you the truth. Men don't lose their power as they age. They grow into it. And nowhere is that more visible, more impactful, than in the way you begin to age into your features. Let's unpack what this means, and why it gives older men a weapon younger men simply can't touch. The fear of the aging face, and why it's misguided. Most men, when they see signs of aging, panic. They start trying to erase the process. They buy expensive creams. They dye their hair until it looks unnatural. They avoid mirrors. Some even go under the knife. Why? Because they've attached their worth to youthful appearance. But here's what they don't understand. What makes a man attractive isn't his smooth skin or baby face. It's his edge. It's the weight behind his stare. The story behind his silence. The courage behind his calm. All of that lives in your features. Your lines are not flaws. They're chapters. Your gray hair? That's silver armor. And if you learn to wear it with poise, it becomes irresistible. Open book, your face tells a story, and women want to read it. Let me give you a powerful truth most men never hear. Your face is a biography. It holds every lesson, every heartbreak, every late night, every hard-earned victory. And the women who are truly worth your time, they don't want a blank slate. They don't want a pretty, forgettable face. They want to see depth. They want to look at you and feel presence. They want a man whose expression says, I've been through things. I've survived. I've earned this steadiness. The more you try to erase that, the less real you become. But when you lean into it, when you carry your age with pride, not apology, something powerful happens. Women start seeing you as a complete story, not just a shallow character. And the connection they feel is deeper, stronger, more primal. Brain, the psychology of character, why women are drawn to mature masculine features. Let's get scientific for a moment. Multiple behavioral studies show that as women mature, especially into their late 20s, 30s, and beyond, they become more attracted to signs of reliability, confidence, and authority. These traits aren't conveyed through youthful perfection. Small blue diamond sign 4, she touches her hair or neck when you enter the room, the unspoken signal most men miss. You walk into the room. It could be a cafe, a dinner gathering, a quiet lounge, or even a workplace setting. You're not trying to be seen, and that's the secret. You're grounded, calm, collected. But something changes when you appear. A flicker. A shift. You catch it out of the corner of your eye. She's adjusting her hair. Running her fingers through it. Smoothing it behind her ear. Maybe tilting her head slightly. Or briefly touching her neck as if she's checking something that doesn't need to be fixed. To the untrained man, it looks like nothing. But to the awakened, masculine man? That single, subtle gesture tells you everything. Because what you just witnessed wasn't coincidence. It was biological attraction trying not to betray itself. Let's break down exactly what's happening, and why this subconscious reflex is one of the strongest signs you're a good-looking, high-status older man. Small blue diamond sign 5, you walk into a room, and silence follows. You open the door. Step inside. And for a brief moment, maybe half a second, maybe 3, something strange happens. The room quiets. Not entirely. Not dramatically. But subtly. Enough for you to feel it in your gut. Voices drop. Conversations pause. People glance. Movement slows. It's not fear. It's not fame. It's presence. A quality that can't be faked, bought, or borrowed. And the men who have it, especially older men who've earned it, don't need to announce themselves. Because when they walk into a room, the room adjusts to them. Let's break down exactly why this happens, and what it reveals about your silent attractiveness as a mature, grounded man. Brain, what you're witnessing is not coincidence, it's social physics. Here's something rarely talked about. Every social space has an energetic hierarchy. It's subtle. It's unspoken. But it's always there. And the moment a man of high internal stability walks into that environment, the structure recalibrates. Small blue diamond sign 6, younger men watch you, and quietly start to copy you. There's a moment in every man's life, usually unnoticed, when something shifts. You're not trying to be a role model. You're not preaching. You're just living. But slowly, you begin to notice. A younger man adjusts his posture after watching how you stand. A guy at work starts speaking with your tone or cadence. A group of men in the gym takes note of how you carry yourself, how you train, how you rest between sets. Your nephew or your son copies how you dress, how you shake hands, or even how you sit in a chair. They may not say it out loud, but the truth is clear. They're watching you. They're learning from you. They're mirroring you. And this, whether you realize it or not, is one of the strongest signs you're becoming a high-value, good-looking older man. Let's break down why this mirroring happens, what it means for your social power, and how it affects women, in ways most men never understand. Mirroring equals respect, not mimicry. What we're talking about here isn't flattery. It's not someone trying to imitate you like a fan. It's instinctual social behavior rooted in psychology. Small blue diamond sign 7, women find subtle reasons to be physically close to you. She doesn't say much. But she's there. Closer than she needs to be. She chooses the seat next to yours, even though others are open. She brushes your arm lightly when she walks by, and doesn't apologize. She lingers in you. Space, asking questions that don't really matter. She laughs at your joke, and leans in just a bit too far. You're not imagining it. You're not being arrogant. She's orbiting you. And whether she realizes it consciously or not, her body is doing what words often cannot. It's signaling attraction. Let's explore what's really happening when women subtly try to stay physically close to you, and how this reveals that you've become the kind of older man they can't quite stay away from. Magnet attraction isn't always loud, sometimes it's proximity. Modern men often miss this. They think attraction always shows up as compliments, direct flirting, sexual teasing. Small blue diamond sign 8, your flaws now make you more attractive, not less. It used to bother you. The wrinkles at the corners of your eyes. The gray creeping into your beard. The scar on your hand from something foolish you did when you were 25. That slight limp that shows up after leg day or a long hike. The fact that you don't chase trends anymore, you simply are who you are. But here's the twist. Now, she finds it attractive. She stares a little longer. She smiles when she sees the gray. She runs her fingers along your scar and asks, "What happened here?" She finds poetry in your imperfections, because they tell a story. Your story. Let's break down one of the most surprising signs you've become a truly attractive older man. Your flaws are no longer weaknesses. They're proof of your journey. And women are drawn to them.